Good morning. Oh, good afternoon, everybody. It's actually after 12 o'clock. How's everyone doing? Let me flip screens here real quick. Let's say hello. The dude, first place today, KP, my skydive. Hello. Resistance, what is going on? Can you all hear me okay, by the way? Hey, copycat. Celtic Grandma, Resistance again. Hey, Mrs. Metal, off the wall. Have you gone overseas yet, or the trip is pending still? I can't remember if you'd left. I've been. I finally got my backup person at work, so now I'm not losing my mind. Uh, Hold on. Hey, Ark, how have you been? So, okay, 5 by 5. Awesome, awesome. So, folks, I've got a few videos I'll line up for you guys, which will be pending for next week. Um, the, things are just bizarre. Is it me? Is anyone else in the chat to where you feel there's been some weird shift? I don't know if I'm explaining the sentiment correctly. You feel like since Saturday could have gone very badly. As it is, it was kind of bad. Hey, Watchman, hello. Um, Back in UK, it's harsh there. Well, Billy, that's one of the things. And welcome, by the way, Billy. And copycat. Hold on, I'm losing track of the chat. Hey, Red October, what's going on? Red had a great video um, earlier. I saw it actually originally on TikTok, but I'll talk about that in a moment. But with the incident on the previous Saturday with the former president, it seems like a lot of people all at once went, "Wait a minute, what the hell is going on?" Because I'm seeing it everywhere, and it almost feels like, and I didn't realize this was actually happening. It feels like a lot of people just hey, Ghetto, what's going on? Mrs. Metal again. If I missed you in the chat, I'm sorry, it's jumping around a little bit. It seems like a bunch of people got shaken out of their beds. You know what I mean? Like when you shake someone out of bed and like the house is on fire, and they're like, and they suddenly come to and realize what's going on. Hey, Michelle, welcome. Uh, don't want Kamala getting. They're in shambles, Watchmen. And actually, I'm going to share this screen with you. This is from Times Now. This is like an kind of like a newsy kind of. Let me find the right screen here. And I didn't know this was going on this week.
At the time, could
I
attest
heard
to
they were
that because I
pondering it.
reached out to them saying, listen, I'm a former naval officer. I held a Q security clearance. I couldn't collect. Somebody couldn't take me to dinner for $50. This just does not make sense to me.
But you proceed, and then later this thing starts to get a lot
They're having
uglier. What's the
impeachment
moment you go
hearings
from, okay, your spidey
over
senses are up, you're analyzing this,
the
to
president.
now you know this is a crime that you are bearing witness to?
The end of July, when the Biden family put them right front and center
Can
in
you
the
hear
middle
that,
of a
guys?
$9 billion transaction between the Russian state-owned energy company Rosneft and CFC, a surrogate for the Chinese Communist Party.
And was there ever a time in the deals you were involved in where you started to see the money move around the legitimate business enterprise and toward the pockets of the Bidens?
Well, the challenge, Mr. Gates, with that is at the time they moved the money, right? You guys have the text messages where Hunter Biden shook down Director Zhang, but I was not aware of that. I spent a year asking questions of, this doesn't make sense to me. Where's the money? I stepped in and had lawyers work to dissolve the two entities. I didn't know till years later that they had defrauded me. They had gotten paid all this money and all this craziness. The amount of facts.
It just seems pretty simple. This is either a bribe or a business.
It was a bribe from the Chinese Communist Party.
And
I don't say that lightly. There's 1,200 pages, 8 days of testimony in the Southern District of New York. I encourage everyone watching me, hearing me say this, they're publicly available. Go read them. Our Department of Justice outlines in intimate detail the
Did
corruption and
anyone else
bribes the
not know
CFC
this was
was
going
deploying
on
to political
this
officials
last
all
week?
over the world.
It wasn't
So
just in
I'm
the
here
United
to
States.
believe that they did this in every other country, but with the Biden family, it was pristine. It was an actual clean business. That's absurd.
And you came to know that, and that's when you blew the whistle, right? That's when you started to get worried when you saw Joe
I
Biden.
stepped away from it. There's the whistleblowers. I can't give them kudos enough for the bravery and the risk they put their family in. They publish stuff where I am voicing the concern of the Rosneft deal.
And you
directly to them.
animated your concerns when you saw that this wasn't just a corrupt bribe, a corrupt business deal happening to a guy who used to be vice president. When you see that everyone's made a big deal like you're a bad guy, that you showed up at the debate, or you're trying to give life to these facts that you've observed, that it's so bad that you did that during a political contest. But observing this, it kind of seems like it would be unpatriotic for you to stay quiet.
Of course.
And so, I mean, Joe Biden running for president clearly motivated the Chinese to consummate this bribe, did it all.
Well, and off the wall, well, which one is the distraction? Is taking the pot shot at Trump or the hearing or the absolute debacle the DNC is going to have? Like, there's something very wrong. I didn't even know this was going on. There's also right now riots all over London, all over England and Ireland, and I didn't know this was going on either. But you think about it, if they were targeting a person and whoever was incumbent in power, uh, the punch on. Well, that's even for a good rifleman off the wall. That's still if like some people say it's completely staged. Um, that's a hell of a 100-yard shot with a breeze to hit a guy right on the ear and not take his head off, even if you practiced it as a stunt, that would require a lot of training, especially not from some doofus kid. But yeah, I think that was part of the theatrics, the greater theatrics, quite honestly. Um, and I do agree with this. It's it's basically a case of where did he go? All of a sudden he got COVID, and now they're talking about the Rona again. I've heard zero about Rona until the president got Rona, and now everyone has Rona. And well, they took them off. All you have is no. It's I'd agree. I don't think so. I mean, I've got two geophysicists here, one of whom was a MARSOC shooter. He said if that was staged, that was a very high risk maneuver because a breeze would have moved that 55 grain bullet just a bit. I mean, clearly someone died in the stands behind him, because you could hear the woman scream. But it's right, but all of a sudden it's just a lot of insanity. But these hearings, where did that come from? Like, I know Matt Gaetz likes to talk smack about the other party. There's a lot going on, and it feels like after the Saturday incident, it's almost accelerating. Like all the various players, all these like stakeholders, uh, are all of a sudden, all of a sudden, amping up their game, trying to some of these comments. Uh, well, I heard he would step aside and actually, I've seen people get in car wrecks and just sit in the car. They could have very well been in shock. A lot of people don't understand or don't think. See, you're thinking like someone who's been in the service, and you're like, okay, that was a gunshot. And you would react somehow, right? You would take a knee or get cover. The average person, I mean, look how they act when Rona hit. They were literally putting a tarp in the bed of her pickup truck and filling it with gas. So, uh, Fox is covering it now. Okay, so he's stepping aside. Fox report. Okay, well that's interesting. I didn't see that. Um, and then you wonder, is it a distraction from something like this? What's going on overseas? Let me see if I can get rid of this advertisement. And this is in England. So this is a compilation, these guys. So apparently the reason this started, can y'all hear the audio on this one? So this started because apparently there was a woman and children were in a domestic situation where they were thank you, off the wall. They were in some kind of danger. They were being abused, and so somebody called Child Protective Service, or their version of CPS, whatever London has or Leeds has. And then those people went to retrieve the children and the wife, and then the neighbor said, "This is not your business. It's our community's business, our people, so to say." And it became an ethnic thing. So the police went to extricate both the social workers and the children and the mom, and were able to get them out. But by the time they did, this is what wound up happening. Now, the same thing happened in a part of Ireland. I don't know. It was apparently there was a shooting in Bangladesh that the people were upset about in Ireland. So what they did, they rioted in Ireland because of something that happened in Bangladesh that Ireland had no part of. So apparently the Irish, being Irish, came out in the street, and then there were fistfights because the Irish are like, okay, you're going to burn down our town, we're going to punch you. And so so it's interesting. So I wonder if attacks happen in France. That's something I worry about. Thank you, thank you. No, well, it depends, because a flesh wound, if you've ever had a head wound, I've seen guys like get hit in the head and they bleed. They're not deep. It's by no means a fatal wound, like getting hit on the head by a piece of wood. But when it opens up those little capillaries, it bleeds a lot. So, I mean, there's, it's like everything else, right? We're seeing bits and pieces, and each of us has our viewpoint, but none of us is ever going to get the whole picture because they're going to make sure we don't see it all. And it'll, again, going to off the walls comment earlier, distractions, right? If they tell this group one thing, this group the other, you see this video, I see that video, the people can't be on the same page. We get discombobulated trying to figure out what happened while they're doing something else. Um, that is a concern, though. Some kind of incident. So USA Today just dropped Biden. So somebody predicted, and see, that's a valid point. There was blood across his face, not on his shirt, but it could have been on his dark suit. But yeah, it's weird. No-go zones existed for decades. By the way, I think Tuck is being sarcastic because obviously there is a tunnel. But hey, I'm Wendy. Where are you? Hey, there she. Biden is dropping out of the election. Just because a blood splatter was on his face, none on the back of the head or behind the ear. Yeah. And again, it's hard to say. That's a weird injury. I've never seen someone get like a piece of their ear clipped. I've seen guys get hit on the head and they'll bleed, if like at a construction site they get smacked on the head with a piece of wood. Um, Knife wounds can bleed depending on where you stab. Uh, yeah, gunshot wounds, at least from hunting, from what I've seen, can be hit and miss. You can hit a deer square and it's basically a little thing, and then maybe some blood out of the mouse if you get a good lung shot. If you hit it wrong, it might bleed all over the floor as it runs away, and then you're chasing the animal. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of questions, and then it's an even bigger point. How the hell did? Hey, Rebecca Lynn, how are you? Um, it becomes it started because of construction for immigrant. Okay, see, I had heard it was about something happened overseas and they were pissed off, so they rioted in Ireland, which didn't make any sense to me. So that makes sense. Yeah, no, yeah. Devil Dog had reached out. He actually sent me a picture. He has a pretty gnarly scar, but he was making sarcastic jokes the other day, so clearly he's in good humor considering what he had the work he had done. Let's see if I can find that. Oh, what did I do here? Well, shit. Hang on just a second. Joe Biden. See, because I heard this morning he had told his contributors, no, we're in the race, and et cetera, et cetera. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Hold on. I got a article. Okay, let's share that. Somebody said Fox had it. This is the only one I found, so let's see what they're saying.
Breaking news. Now, President Biden's campaign effectively on hold. He's isolating in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, after testing positive for COVID-19. Yeah. And after that news broke, Biden was seen, look at him there, walking gingerly down the small stairs of Air Force One, the same stairs he struggled to walk up just moments before. He went one step at a time, even pausing for breaks. But Biden's COVID diagnosis, that may not be his biggest concern. The calls for him to exit the race are back, and they are growing louder and louder. They're coordinated. Nancy Pelosi reportedly told Biden that he cannot beat Trump, and his persistence could destroy the party's chances of winning the House. And Senate Leader Chuck Schumer, someone for whom Biden has a ton of respect for, also House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, they said the same to him behind closed doors. And now it appears the pressure is mounting. Axios reporting that top Democrats believe Biden will exit the race possibly as soon as this weekend. And it's widely known that President Biden likes to start his day by watching MSNBC's Morning Joe. He's really close with Joe Scarborough. Well, here's what Biden likely watched as he was having his morning coffee.
It's really incumbent on people that are around Joe Biden to step up at this point and help the president and help the man they love and do the right thing. This is not going to end well if it continues to drag out. The anger I hear are the people that are keeping him in a bubble.
Or who have their own interests.
Or who may have their own interests.
I've seen that one too.
Some financial in keeping him in the race. That is the real anger. And let me tell you,
Did you guys catch that? He said people who have a financial stake in him staying in the race. Like, again, it always comes down to power and money. It's not about the country. And both parties can be guilty of this, but that's for a guy to say it like that. And he's like, the guy he is. It's
not just the anger from inside Congress. That is anger from inside his own political camp. And it is widespread. It is widespread. Joe Biden.
They always put him yelling. Like, this is the best picture ever. That looks like the movie Up, where the construction workers and the old man comes out with his little cane and goes, "Take a bath, hippies," and he runs them off. That's the "Take a bath, hippies" face from the old man, but it's the president. It's actually, now I've said that open. This actually, I think this is kind of elder abuse. I mean, I actually feel bad for him as a human being. Like, all I hear was, and that's the thing. Like, how do we get to the truth when all you hear is a lot of, how should I say, self-interested points of view? So that's concerning as shit. So anyway,
It is widespread. Joe Biden deserves
I
better.
didn't mean to do that. Hold on.
He deserves better than he is getting from those closest to him.
That's a pretty profound thing to say. Also, is he deserves better. It's almost like that Joe guy, Joe Scarborough, is almost implying that this is kind of abusive, and it's not fair to the guy. That's Bob Barker. Might be Bob Barker. Oh God, the vilifying life even more while Trump. See, and get out there to that point, a symptom of, yeah, definitely. To that point, we as a community, as a nation, you always run the risk of of how shall I say it, over glorifying someone because of what we hear on the media. And in the past, you had the 5-6 News. We had reporters, like Walter Cronkite back in the day. These guys who were just reporting the news, and they would say, "This is my opinion." And now it almost seems like all the news channels, with a few exceptions, are marketing channels. They market to the left, the right, the communists, the whatever, Nazis, take your pick. It doesn't seem like yeah, he's become an idol. And not that I don't think, given the choice of two right now, he might probably the better one, because the other one is not there. Um, hey, Moldy Soldier, what's going on? It's scary. Okay, so he is. Hold on. Average person, JoJo State deserves better, and possibly. I mean, there are crimes that may have been committed. I honestly believe that his son Hunter is probably his weak spot. Right? Because I mean, we all saw the videos of him with the Russian hookers, and he lost his laptop. There's no telling how compromised the current president is because of that kid. And it's sad because the guy's an addict and he has issues, right? I mean, as a human being, he struggles. But, that's concerning to me is, wow, you have someone in your family who conceivably has revealed secrets, or conceivably has tied you to something nefarious. Uh, Hold on, I saw a really good guy. Someone keeps telling me rats running. Yeah. Okay, so you've dealt with it in person. And let's see, I had a demonic prayer for the country trumpet. Bomb all kinds of dirt as well. Yeah, and yeah, if you start digging into any one of them, like, there are no saints in that group. I think the best choice right now, actually, the JD Vance guy, and everything he went through in his childhood, as well as his service overseas, boots on the ground kind of thing. But ironically, he is the only former service member running right now. Biden did not serve, nor did anyone in his family but his son Beau, who passed away. Trump did not serve. Kamala did not serve. They're not from military families at all. And Vance was a first generation Marine. Honestly, I wish he was running, because I'd like him a lot more. But he may not be indoctrinated as much. I don't know. I'm just speculating now. But yeah, there's a lot of special interests. It's important Some bird elected for decades. Yeah. No, they don't. And it's not to say neither party's full of the devil, right? There are a lot of good people trying to do good things, but there's enough people in power that are self-interested to a point of detriment that it makes it very hard for all of us to move ahead. So, as Kamala's self-service. So, yeah, folks, a lot going on. I didn't even know about the riots in Ireland and London. I actually saw that on a completely different platform. Uh, so then it makes me wonder why they hate TikTok and X so much. And is it because it's almost, whether you like the platform or not, it's almost a live streaming feed, and they don't like that kind of news getting out. They want to control it more. Um, Joe did drop out, according to the dude. Okay, let's see. Uh, See, and it's hard to. Oh no, it is. It is official, ladies and gentlemen. See, what scares me, he didn't want to leave, and so he got Rona, and that kind of makes me a little worried for the guy. Like, is he going to be all right? That they're going to pull him off like that? Hold on, let me find the video for you here. Nope, it's just an article for now, guys. So we'll have to read it out. Give me a second here, folks. Here we go. Yeah, the comes the wrench in the election. Well, shoot, off the wall, it's still July. It's not the October surprise yet. That one will be interesting too. President Joe Biden has suspended his reelection campaign, sparking a political firestorm regarding those who would replace him mere months. I'm going to leave you guys the link. Let me see if I can actually post it in there. Well, that's what I'm wondering. But keep in mind, to get people out of power, historically speaking, they've poisoned Caesars, they've poisoned kings. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm being hypothetical here, but it doesn't mean that something wasn't done, or they just decided he's done. Um, and that was, like you said, that was the excuse. So here comes Hillary. I've heard that she's going to come. It's been the greatest honor of my life to serve you as president. While it's been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it's the best interest of the party and the country for me to stand down, to focus solely on fulfilling my duties. So, boys and girls, you heard it here live. And thank you all for commenting in the chats, because y'all were seeing little bits and pieces. Lloyd Doggett from Texas precipitated the bursting of the political dam when on Tuesday he became the first elected Democrat to ask Biden to step down for 2024. My decision to make these strong reservations public is not done lightly. So yeah, that's a lot of Hillary and Pigmont. Who knows? They claim that she doesn't want to run, but you never know. Which crypt keeper will they roll out next? I don't know. Do is raging and not the streets. And that's not wrong. And the problem is, you have folks who try to spread news, but when it comes election time, when it even, think about your local elections, right? We had a city council seat open up, and it's a couple of 100,000 people in the city, right? Maybe a 250,000 in the area, and it's not a big city. And the city council seat was basically a total of 800 votes. So 800 people out of, 250,000 showed up to vote. And people say the vote don't count. Maybe, maybe not. But if you don't show up, I damn well know it won't count. and to your point, people don't do anything. They don't write, they don't call, they'll argue on the internet. uh I like to take the approach, I'll share what I see and know, and everyone react accordingly depending on where you are, because what you may want to approach in Texas might be very different than if you're in California, depending on the state. But yeah, a camel and Big Mike ticket. If Hillary wins, expect war. Oh yeah, of course. And I bet she has a bunch of money in there too. Oh, that's terrible, dude. That's terrible and funny and awful all at the same time, because I have a cartoonish sense of humor, and anyway, I'm not going to say it because I've already been put on warning by YouTube, and I got put in jail on freaking Instagram already. So I'm going to behave today. But anyway, folks, look, despite all this political puffery and this bizarreness, now's a great time to make sure your ducks are in a row, because I actually think, and I think all of us would agree, regardless of who's pulling what power strings or pushing buttons or levers, it's going to accelerate. It'll get more intense as we get closer to the election. So it's good to make sure you have your ducks in a row financially, emotionally, uh, equipment and material wise, but also spiritually. Whether you practice a religion or you're just a karmic type person, you need to be at peace with yourself and put yourself in a righteous place. Uh, yeah, absolutely. That's exactly where I'm going. Um, when we have, yeah, and that's the thing. People don't show up, so it's hard. They put a young and cheat the election. That'll be all right, man. Hey, be safe headed over there. And beware of the soju, but you're Navy, so you probably already know what soju is and how it's the devil. Uh, although it could be fun too. Um, there you go. I wouldn't be surprised if big donors get a refund of their funds so they can redonate it when a nominee is picked. That might be, see, and that's another legality, is legally speaking, the way the election rules work. If I donate to the Biden Harris campaign, Biden drops out. Harris is still part of the ticket. So if it becomes Harris and McMuffin, then McMuffin can partake of that because Harris is still there. But if they're not going to formally endorse her, then that money cannot be used by some random person. So they're going to have to give, I don't know if they give the money back, it goes in an escrow and then people vote. I don't know how it works. So yeah, do get things done. And clearly Off the Wall does know what soju is. Um, and be safe on the airlines. Make sure your carry-on has everything you need. Because I lost my luggage going to Germany. I'm sorry, Austria a few years back, but I actually packed like an overnight set in my carry-on, and my colleague did not, and didn't have toothbrush, nothing, and neither of us spoke German. So he was not a happy camper. I was okay. I had the basic toiletries and I could at least change my clothes. So shipping box of Long Island ahead of time. Okay, there you go. Everyone wants their money back. This is going to be a mess, y'all. And I'll be honest, if I may, I actually am worried about Biden's well-being right now, because we've had this week and a half where it was just not good news for his campaign, and politically it's like, oh well, sucks to suck. But he's an old man, and all of a sudden he gets Rona, and then he drops out, and it kind of makes me wonder. I'm hoping he's okay as a person. I mean, uh, if he winds up going to jail for whatever he did, then that's fine. Let the legal system deal with it, if they deal with people like him the same way they do it to us. But yeah, folks, stay focused. Pay attention to what's going on. Um, yes, please let me know. Uh, that'll be fun. We haven't had a live stream in a hot minute. And I know you've had a lot going on. So, But y'all be safe out there. Pay attention to what's going on. People are going to get very squirrely with all these changes, and it's going to piss people off, and they're going to start lashing out. Don't be the road rage person. Don't be the person that goes out and causes trouble. Do your thing with your people in your circle. And yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, as a human being, I hope he finds health and whatnot. I don't think he's trustworthy as a politician. I think we could all agree. I don't think a lot of them are anymore. But um, well, that was interesting, folks. I was actually going to talk about his um his impeachment, and then he dropped out of the race while we were on the live stream. So this will be yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be awesome. It's the roaming prepper at gmail.com. And it's just one word, like all the words are squished together. But well, folks, be safe, be careful. We'll watch this has just been a roller coaster. Was it last weekend or weekend before the other one gets allegedly shot in the ear and someone winds up dying anyway, and now all of a sudden, ta-da, he drops out. Just bizarre. Absolutely weird. Anyway, folks, be safe out there. I got a very nice day today, weather-wise. It's not too hot. It's sunny. I'm gonna go get some things done as well. Double check your preps. If you can't use them in a timely manner before they become rancid or bad in some way, find someone you can trade them with, sell them. Facebook Marketplace in our neighborhood, we trade people who buy snacks for their kids. The kids hate it. They're like, who would like to trade these applesauce for peanut butter? And, somebody will make a swap. So start your own trading group somewhere. Never hurts to have that network. Anyway, guys, be safe, be blessed. We will see you all on the next video later this week.